President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departed from Lagos to Accra, Ghana to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama on Tuesday. The Northern Elders Forum has again raised concerns over the federal government's proposed tax reform bills, urging immediate suspension of its implementation and extensive dialogue with stakeholders. The West African Examination Council has announced a new initiative which will allow students to receive their WAEC papers as early as January and February 2025. In the international news, Southern Korea protests in snow as student arrest deadline nears. In the business news, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has announced plans to significantly ramp up enforcement and impose substantial fines on data controllers and processors that violates the Nigerian Data Protection Act. Viewers, welcome to Zamfara State Television News. With me, Hawa E. Laden, the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departed from Lagos to Accra, Ghana to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama on Tuesday. Mahama served as the 12th president of Ghana between 2011 and 2017. He was re-elected in December 2024 and will succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo. President Tinubu's trip to Accra is at the invitation of the president-elect, who had visited the Nigerian leader earlier in December. Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, in a statement in Abuja on Sunday, said President Tinubu, as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of the States and Government, will join other African leaders at the ceremony. The Northern Elders Forum has again raised concern over the federal government's proposed tax reform bills, urging immediate suspension of its implementation and extensive dialogue with stakeholders instead. The forum criticized the government for failing to engage critical stakeholders and experts before drafting the reforms. Northern Elders Forum expressed its position in a statement on Saturday signed by its chairman of Management Board, Al-Amin Dagash, highlighting the reform's potential adverse effect in northern Nigeria and the nation as a whole. Dagash said, once again, it is necessary to reiterate that indeed Nigerians in general and northerners in particular are not really against the introduction of any form of good and meaningful reforms by those in positions of authority at the federal, state, or local government levels. The 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt, says its troops, in collaboration with other security agencies, have impounded more than 90 liters of stolen petroleum products, destroyed 20 illegal refineries, and arrested 11 suspects. The acting deputy director of the division, Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jona, in a press statement issued in Port Harcourt at the weekend, said 20 illegal refining sites were destroyed, 11 suspected oil thieves arrested, and 31 boats used for transporting stolen products destroyed. Lieutenant Colonel Jonah said the vehicles were intercepted with over 190 liters of stolen products recovered in operations conducted from December 30, 2024 to January 5, 2025. Relatedly, at Amalgakiri General Area in Nembe local government area, 2 illegal refining sites were taken out with over 15,000 liters of stolen products confiscated. While at Oyeregbemi in southern Ijo local government area, 1 illegal refining site was destroyed with over 1,500 liters of stolen products handled appropriately. In Rivers State, around Omoku troops closed on oil thieves who fled in disarray on sighting traps. Further exploitation led to the discovery of an illegal connection point on Oando pipeline around Oboka, with 4 boats laden with over 22,000 liters of stolen products. The West African Examination Council has announced a new initiative which will allow students to receive their WAEC papers as early as January and February 2025. This marks a significant shift from the previous system, where candidates had to wait for the next private exam cycle. The head of public affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, disclosed this while speaking in Ghana on Tuesday, December 31st. Students who access their results now and realize they need to receive one or two papers have until 8 January to register online through their own website, edited internet cafes. The exams will take place from 21st January to 15 February 2025. According to him, to aid candidates in their preparations, WAEC plans to expedite the release of Chief Examiner's reports, saying this report will provide detailed feedback on where students may have gone wrong and how they can better approach their studies and the examination process. In the international news, thousands of South Koreans braved a snowstorm Sunday to rally in support or opposition of President Yoon Suk Yeol, suspended over a field martial law bid and resisting arrest a day before the warrant expires. Yoon plunged the country into political chaos last month with the bungled martial law declaration and has since holed up in the presidential residence, surrounded by hundreds of loyal security officers. Thousands descended on his residence despite bitter snow conditions blanketing the capital. One camp demanded Yoon's arrest, while the other called for his impeachment to be declared invalid. They can bring all the snow and we will still be there, said the anti-Yoon protester Lee Jina, 28, who had previously worked at a coffee shop. In the business news, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has announced plans to significantly ramp up enforcement and impose substantial fines on data controllers and processors that violate the Nigerian Data Protection Act. This was disclosed by the National Commissioner, CEO of the Commission, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, outlining the Commission's 2025 agenda, shared on its social media and platforms. Olatunji stated, for data controllers and processors, there is going to be a massive enforcement. We have never really issued any fine, but going forward, you will hear us giving heavy penalties. The Commissioner highlighted the Nigerian Data Protection Commission extensive engagement with stakeholders across public and private sectors to promote awareness and compliance with the Commission's mandate. This effort, he said, had resulted in the signing of memorandums of understanding with key organizations, including the National Insurance Commission, National Lottery Regulatory Commission, the Data Privacy Office of Canada, and the Dubai International Financial Center Authority, among others. In the sports news, six-time champions Malcolm Mines lead others as top winners of the just concluded 2024-2025 JOS International Polo Tournament, JOS as Nigerian Polo Supremo. Francis Ogboro, unanimously elected for another tenure as the President of Nigerian Polo Federation. Other winners of the week-long Polo Festival that started with a charity event on December 25, 2024 include Crown Polo Resort team winners of Imani Cup, Katsina Al-Dusar team that emerged NASCO Cup champions, and Mina Profile team that clinched the President's Cup. It is worthy to note that the game of polo has for several decades now maintained its preeminent position as the leading catalyst for sports, recreation, peace and tourism in Plateau State and Nigeria at large, declared JOS Polo President Murtala Laushi in his closing remarks. He said the Nigerian Polo is one big family that will continue to put Nigeria in the international limelight. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departed from Lagos to Accra, Ghana to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama on Tuesday. The Northern Elders Forum has again raised concerns over the federal government's proposed tax reform bills, urging immediate suspension of its implementation and extensive dialogue with stakeholders. The West African Examination Council has announced a new initiative which will allow students to receive their WAEC papers as early as January and February 2025. In the international news, Southern Korea protests ensue as June arrest deadline nears. In the business news, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has announced plans to significantly ramp up enforcement and impose substantial fines on data controllers and processors that violate the Nigerian Data Protection Act. Viewers, this comes to the end of Zamfara State Television News. With me, Hawa Iladen, I'm saying goodbye.